All right, Elizabeth. Let's learn about Elizabeth. She works professionally as a medical intuitive and an intuitive consultant. She works out of her practice in Camden, Maine. Beautiful Camden, Maine, right on the coast. And she offers medical intuitive readings, life path readings, business strategy consulting, after-death consultation, past life regressions, and animal communications. She actually gave me a life path reading, which was very, very helpful. She also does workshops and mentoring to develop other people's intuition. She works globally with clients of all ages. She works in person. She works on the phone. She works over the internet. She's been doing it for 25 years. And so there's a lot to her background, a lot of education, a lot of certification, which makes her the perfect person for us to talk to, for you to talk to if you're looking for credibility and longevity in their career. And what's really great about Elizabeth is when you talk to her, you instantly trust her. So let's get started on listening to a couple of clips from our conversation, and I'm going to share with you the audio. And let's get started on our first question with her. So first, I wanted to know what her background was. As a medical intuitive, I would assume that there's medical background in there. But I want to know, how did the merging of the intuitive and the medical professional, how did this all come about? And here's her story.
When I was a little kid, like 4 or 5, I just started to know things, but they were things that I didn't understand. I didn't have a vocabulary. I didn't understand the feelings that I was actually feeling. So I'm like, oh, I'm shutting this all down. So I spent a big piece of my life keeping it shut down, but I was always interested in the unusual, the paranormal, sci-fi, all of that kind of stuff. And then I went on to go to nursing school. And I found in nursing school, and when I got out of school, that I just knew who wasn't going to be in the ICU the next day and who wasn't going to make it out of the OR the next day. And then I would start to say things like that to my fellow peers, and they're like, what are you talking about? So, of course, you shut it back down again. So a lot of my skill sets went underground because there wasn't a place for it. There wasn't an outlet for it. There wasn't the term medical intuitive. There wasn't a Carolyn Mace at that point in time who really coined the phrase medical intuition or medical intuitive. Because I was working in a medical arena, I couldn't shut down the information that I was getting. So I just would log it and go like, okay, they won't be there. Or I would start to see things like precognitive. I would see things before they were coming. So I'd say to one of the docs, I don't feel good about this. This patient's going to go down the tubes. We need to be doing something. But there was nothing at that point in terms of symptoms to do about it. And then they crash in the middle of the night. So, because I had the precognitive stuff, I was aware. And so I was on top of the kinds of things that were going on with my patients, but could only do so much because it hadn't manifested yet. It was in the future and it hadn't happened. So frustrating, very, very frustrating. And so that's pretty much where my skill sets came from. Nursing has been an incredible laboratory for me, just incredible. And I've had an opportunity to work with some amazing physicians, nurses, nurse practitioners, PAs, who are very open to what I do. And so people that I work with, they knew what my practice was on the side. So they would ask me things. They'd say, what do you think? Do you think this is a fracture? What do you think? And I'd like, yeah, it feels kind of like a fracture, even though they're not reading it that way. And they said, okay, we'll split it as a fracture. And then later on, the orthopod goes, yeah, I think there is a fracture there. It's things like that. I've always worked in the arena of life and death. I've always worked in critical care, emergency room, ICU, OR, that kind of thing. So it was an amazing opportunity because I could get information and then I'd go, his white blood cell count is up, or this is off, or that is off.